What is going on, everyone? Welcome back to another lesson. Today we're going to talk about left hand muting on electric guitar. This is a very important technique. It's actually a mix of different techniques, and we will see today what are the best strategies depending on which finger you use on the left hand to actually mute all of the other strings, with the goal to be percussive. We want to be percussive when we play rhythm guitar, when we play funk, when we play blues, any kind of rhythm really. I always say we want to play drums on guitar. We want to be a percussive instrument here. We want to get this sort of thing. So the first step is going to be just getting comfortable with, playing a chord and lifting the fingers, releasing the pressure and making sure that you get a muted sound where you get, the ghost notes, the chaka chaka sounds in between live. Getting used to this really. And then we're going to see a few examples based on this B flat 7, where you will see how I mute the strings that I'm not going to use even when I want to play really on one note, and therefore I have to mute 5 strings because my right hand is going to strum all of the strings all the time. Okay, so the first example goes like this kind of rhythm, but like we said, with all of the ghost notes in between. So it will have to be something like So how do I do this? Well, as I said, depending on which string I'm going to use and which finger I'm going to use for that string, I'm going to mute all of the other strings with my left hand. So I'm not going to use my right hand for the muting at all. In fact, my right hand keeps doing, this motor going, this kind of rhythm that never stops, and the left hand really is muting all of the other strings. So how do I do this? Well, for the first note that you play with your thumb or with your first finger, that's up to you. You're gonna hit mainly here on top, the strings on top, because that's the bass note, the start of your groove. Okay, making sure that you actually stop the other strings with your fingers like that. I like to keep them pretty straight. Obviously, I'm not pressing, I'm just stopping the sound. And then I do ghost notes, up, down. Then I hit this note here, which is the octave of the first note, okay? And when I play a note like that, I want to make sure that when I play this upstroke, effectively all of the other strings are muted, okay? And I'm gonna apply this to all of the other notes. So if I play this one, I make sure that the first finger is not like this, but it's more like this, okay? Which helps muting the strings at the bottom. I've got at least 2 more fingers straight to make sure that the top string is muted, even when I hold the neck and grab the neck like that, so that the thumb is helping the muting too. And you get things like that. Okay, so if I want to play this note, I make sure this is muted, 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 okay? Okay, so this is the only one making a sound. Same thing with the other fingers, and what I try to do is basically keeping the other fingers as close as I can to the fretboard, making the smallest movement possible, okay, to make sure that I still grab the neck in a way that I mute all of the strings, okay? So slowly. Okay, towards the end I was playing something slightly harder because I was doing this typical minor third, major third, bluesy, because we are playing a dominant 7 chord, so it does sound bluesy. Okay, doing this 2 strings with a hammer on. And even when you do that, as long as you mute all of the other strings, you get a nice sound. Okay, so. Okay, if you guys want to check out a full transcription, a full tab and music notation of these examples, you will find them all on my Patreon page. The link is in the description. You might want to play the same example without all of the ghosts. So you might want to play a slightly longer note at the beginning here, and also the third note that you play on fret 6 here could be slightly longer. So this means that sometime you will have to make movement without hitting the strings or missing them, okay? So some movements will create ghost notes, most of them I would say, and some others could just skip the sound and create more of a break, more of a rest, which sometimes sounds really funky, and it would go something like this. Personally, I actually prefer playing like this because it makes sure that, you know, I have a variety of sounds, ghost notes, rests, staccatos, so short sounds. So this is a good way of being really groovy with a few notes. Now, another example which involves even less ghost notes could be playing something like... I really love this because this is a good example of how important it is muting all of the strings that you don't play. So I start in the same way, but all of these notes are downstrokes, but without ghost notes in between. So, and after that, usual minor major third with the fourth, typical of pentatonic, typical of, you know, blues again, doing something like okay, and then I finish after another couple of ghost notes with one final minor major third because I really like it a lot, and it would be like... So again, it's all about the muting of all of the strings that you don't play. So when you do this, you know, all of the other strings are muted. So my ring finger is pressing down, but all the other fingers have just, you know, muting these strings like... Okay, like that. It's really hard work. You really need to try this, and don't be afraid of trying it. Sometimes you'll get, you know, open strings in between. That's fine. You will learn how to control that, and it will sound really cool. Now let's explore how we can play this in something which is not necessarily funky or not just funky, but maybe more blues or rock blues in a style of Stevie Ray Vaughan and players which are more into the blues world. So I was thinking of something that doesn't follow a 16th note subdivision typical of funk, but instead it follows an 8th note subdivision, maybe with a little bit of triplet feel, so in shuffle feel. If you try a melody, let's say based on the B minor pentatonic, okay, and you start like... Okay, that's the melody basically. Only once I was playing a chord, really, an E major triad. And what I'm thinking of is playing all of these notes to show you even more how you can play one note and mute all of the others. Okay, something I like to play is a triplet when I play this triad. Okay, because all of the other notes are in shuffle feel, so that I can play a ghost note like... And this sounds really good even when you play faster than that. Okay, if you guys are not ready to play a triad here, you can try with a single note instead, so... But at least you keep playing your triplet. Okay, note, and then two ghosts. Again, remember that you can find the tabs for this on my Patreon page. And yeah, guys, so if you play with your first finger, for instance, you're gonna use as much as you can the other fingers straight, you know, to mute the strings. If instead you're using your ring finger, most of the time you will use either your ring finger or your pinky here on the right hand side, let's say. And all you're gonna do is keeping the first finger lower so that this mutes the string at the bottom or the strings at the bottom. You keep your thumb up here, and then the fingers that you're not using, either the middle finger or both these two, will actually help you, you know, getting the muting of the top strings, the low end of the guitar, okay? That's the goal really, so that you can play. Or. Right guys, I hope this lesson was helpful to understand better the left hand muting in funk, in blues, in different genres. And if you did enjoy this video, please make sure to hit the like button to show your support to this channel, and feel free to comment below any questions you might have. Thanks a lot for watching this video guys. This was the Bearded Guitarist. Have a great day.